You're listening to part 1 of this audiobook. Enjoy the story? Part 2 and the rest of the story are available on Patreon. Go to Patreon and search for my page to continue listening. Now, let's begin part 1. Chapter 1: Escape from the Sea of Fire. Fire, a fire. The eyes were enveloped by the fiery flames, the heat evaporated inside the body, the sweat dripped, and the sound of Zizi came from his ears, and the uncomfortable feeling forced the bear to open his eyes. This is flames, flames, crazy flames eroded, and the bear exhausted all his strength and climbed outside. Behind his legs were rolling fire dragons, devouring the bear at any time. No, I can't die. There was only one thought in his mind: he couldn't die. He didn't have the time to think about where it was, and he didn't have the time. All he knew was that his body was very weak. He took a step, and his body was weak, and the ground would collapse at any time. The Sea of Fire is ruthless, and there are battle sounds, swords, and cries from outside, and cries from time to time, accompanied by tragic cries. There is fighting outside. Xiang couldn't take care of that much, and continued to climb outside. There was a door in front of him. The flames had not yet spread, and hope rose in his heart that he could do it. He stretched out his hands and lay on the ground, grabbed hard, and between his 5 fingers together, the soil on the ground formed a deep ravine. Behind his feet, his clothes were stained with mud, coke, and his face was dark, and he couldn't care too much. Survive, I will survive. The mind is firm, and it is indomitable. It's coming, it's coming. The door is in front of him. He grabbed the door and pulled his body hard. Before he could meet the dawn of victory, a sword flew over. If it wasn't for the quick response of the bear, his hand would be gone. The sword was inserted in front of his eyes, trembling slightly, and the bear looked up in fear. Fighting? No, this is slaughter. A group of people who looked very evil, dressed in weird clothes, held swords, guns, and knives. The screams spread, the sky was dyed red, and under the black mist, the bear was frightened by the scene in front of him. What's wrong? What the hell is going on here? Before he had time to think about it, a man who looked like a little scoundrel came over, with a hideous and wretched smile on his face, with a deep disdain in his eyes, carrying a knife and taking small steps. He was getting closer, getting closer. The bear could only hold the door, looked around, looking for a weapon to attack. The sword fell into his eyes. He grabbed the sword regardless of panic, and the panic in his heart could not be dissipated. Holding the sword with trembling hands, the bear stood up with difficulty, leaning on the portal. The flames behind him continued to spread, and this place could not stay for long. The man stepped forward, put the sword on the edge of his right hand, and said with a smile, "There is another kid, he. I didn't expect my luck to be so good, kid. I can only say that you are unlucky." Killing intent appeared, and in an instant, he started. Xiang felt a flower in front of his eyes, as if there was a shadow flashing in front of him. He subconsciously raised the weapon in his hand and stabbed forward. Bah! Am I going to die? The bear didn't feel, what was going on, opened his eyes and saw that the weapon in his hand passed through the man's chest, and his weapon was only a finger away from the bear. Just move forward and the bear would die. I won? With doubts, Xiang looked at his weapon and his hand in disbelief. A flash of light flashed in his mind. He followed suit, raised his hand, and stabbed the weapon forward. The result was beautiful. You! The bandit man looked at this scene in disbelief. A little devil who was powerless to hold a chicken, and a little devil who was caught by his hands, actually killed him. No. The bear pulled out his weapon and cut his throat. Blood stained his body, his face, under his eyes. He stretched out his hand to wipe, and watched the bandit man fall. The bear knew that he had killed someone and could not stay here. A few thieves not far away noticed the situation here. The bear didn't even think about it, and ran away without being caught by them. Go! The 3 pirates in the distance looked ruthless. They witnessed that scene, and their murderous aura was stimulated. "Come on, don't let that kid run away." Passing through the alley, there were screams everywhere. According to the reaction given by the body, the bear was familiar with walking on an unfamiliar road. Turning left, it was a small house that had not been harmed. He saw a lot of innocent eyes, so pitiful. Someone reached out to him for help. The bear hesitated for a while, bowed his head, shook his head, and ran in another direction. And the master of those eyes bowed his head, folded his hands, and knelt down on the ground, as if praying. What they said, the bear didn't know. He only knew that he wanted to escape, quickly escape from this purgatory. The trails became clear as he walked, as if his body had remembered the surroundings and couldn't forget them. The danger was a little relieved, and he couldn't be careless. He knew that the pirate who followed behind would definitely not give up. He stopped, tired and unable to support his body. With this small body, at this time, the bear had time to look at his body. The body, in fact, is less than 10 years old. He was powerless and lacked food for a long time. He was not skinny, but he was also powerless. "Brother, where did that kid go?" "Don't worry, that kid must be nearby, daring to kill our brother. I don't know whether to live or die. Take a good look at me, don't let him run away." When the voice came, Xiang knew that he was going to continue to flee. He looked up and saw a forest in front of him. He took a step forward, took it back, leaned against the wall carefully, took a stone and smashed it at another direction. Sure enough, a few people walked past. They were waiting, and as soon as someone came out, they would be killed immediately. The bear raised his head and went out. There was no one else. He took courage and ran over quickly. The pirates were unaware. Hoo-hoo! Entering the forest, Xiang gasped for breath. He was frightened to death just now, and he thought he was going to die. Glancing back, 3 pirates came over and chased in his direction. The man in front of him crouched down and sniffed the ground like a dog. The pirates behind him believed in this man very much, and followed behind him without the slightest impatience. "Have you found it?" The man got up, patted his body, and showed a ghostly smile. "In front, that kid ran inside, hee hee. If it wasn't for you, we might have been run away by this kid. I didn't expect this kid to be so difficult to deal with, but isn't it bad? The boring slaughter has made me uninterested. Don't you feel excited about having a kid at this time?" "Haha, yes. That's right, I hope this kid won't let us down." The bear watched the 3 of them run in quickly, and the reverse was exactly where he was. The bear couldn't help but be shocked that they could find himself, and before he had time to think, he turned and went deeper into the forest. The forest was dark, and the light from the fire outside, the shadows came in, and the mottled light was very uncomfortable. Enjoying part 1 so far? This is only the beginning. Part 2 and the rest of the story are available on Patreon. Go to Patreon and search for my page to continue the story. Now, let's continue. Chapter 2 Devil Fruit? The forest under the night sky is full of silence. Fear, danger, shrouded every corner. The bear could only lean on the trees, rest for a while, dripping with sweat and gasping for breath. The ghostly pirates behind him were still chasing him. No matter how he escapes or hides, he can't avoid them, and even, in order to avoid them, he smears some juice with a strange smell on his body, or rolls around in a pool of water. His body is dirty, and the smell can kill an animal. But the pirate behind him never escaped the pursuit. Bear looked at his body, his mind went blank, he didn't even know where he was or what the world was. Is this Earth? Or somewhere else? The surrounding environment is very different from the Earth. Sometimes he feels that he has come to the Amazon, but it doesn't look like it. He calmed down and raised his hand to look at his arm. One word, big, very big, and the body is surprisingly big, not like a child at all, but he knows that he is only 10 years old, and he is still a few months short. He opened his trousers and touched it a few times. The intoxicated look was always there, big, hard, ahem, it was a man, not a woman. "Brother, have you found it?" The terrifying voice sounded again, and the bear's heart skipped a beat. He looked behind him in shock, and then came again. He moved towards the inside. The dark forest sometimes shone a few rays of light. The cold and gloomy, terrifying pressure kept pervading the surroundings. He walked cautiously, perhaps it was the smell on his body that made those animals feel disgusted, abandoned him and walked away, attacking behind him, but after a while, the roar of the beast stopped. The bear smelled the smell of blood and hurried away. In the forest, he was not the only one who smelled the smell of blood. There were also many vicious animals, shouting one after another. "No, I can't continue to stay outside. With the current physical strength of the bear, it will be very dangerous to continue to stay outside." As he walked, he found a cave, hid in it, felt unsafe, moved a stone and blocked the entrance of the cave, and then sat down, gasping for breath. Tired, physically exhausted, he could not go any further. The danger diminished a little, and he sat, leaning against the wall, ready to fall asleep. Suddenly, he smelled a smell, an unusual smell. Maybe he was hungry, and he hadn't eaten for a whole day. He was so hungry that he couldn't help but open his eyes. After 1, 2, 3 times, he couldn't hold on, stood up, looked around, a faint light appeared in front of him. He took a few steps forward curiously, and the closer he got, the more cautious he became. "Hope there is no danger." After taking 2 steps, he saw the source of the light. It was a fruit, lying on the stone, covered with strange tattoos, going around in a strange shape. Fruit? Glowing fruit? The fruit that always felt very familiar. Xiang wanted to continue watching, but his stomach couldn't support it and kept making a gurgling sound. He relented, grabbed the fruit, and ate it with his mouth open. Unpalatable. His brows were twisted together, his whole body was trembling, his lips were trembling, and there was nothing more unpalatable than this. Yuck! Vomited, but nothing. After eating the fruit, the bear felt that he was full of power, and a force spurted out from inside his body. He pressed his hand on the ground and touched it lightly, and a hole appeared in the ground. Like the opening of the bear's paw, cute, the familiarity is clearer. The bear raised his hand and looked at his arm. 2 bear's paws appeared in the palm of his hand, red and protruding. "This is devil fruit? The fruit of the meatball, the fruit of the Bartholomew bear." And looking at his body, the body that cannot be ignored, the bear seems to understand that he seems to have crossed over to the world of One Piece, and his identity is the big bear. The big bear, who was always so gentle, with a much gentler voice than his neighbor's uncle, was finally transformed into an artificial human. People who have seen One Piece sighed for the bear. His actions were respected and liked by all Haimai. "I'm the big bear." With a pat on the palm of his hand, the stone on the hole outside smashed into pieces, all over the place. The bear tried to control the fruit and slapped it on his body. "The bullet is healed." Pressing his palm on his chest, a red sphere came out from behind. It was very small, less than the size of a palm. The bear increased its strength and the red sphere that came out was even larger. The whole sphere came out, and the bear felt an unprecedented comfort. Comfortable. With a serious face, he shouted the word comfortable. Awkward, except awkward. "Brother, how's it going? The boy is right in front of him, get off quickly." The voice of the pirates came again, and the sound of sprinting came. In the blink of an eye, 3 figures stood outside the entrance of the cave. Under the hazy night, they seemed to be demons crawling out of hell. Xiang's heart beat faster. He came, he hid in the dark, looked at the 3 of them, and judged their strength. He was also studying his own abilities. Although he knew the big bear's moves, he might not be able to perform them, which was also a problem. For example, teleportation. he doesn't seem to be sure, in case it fails. He was waiting for the moment when they came. Coming. Big brother. The younger brother, who felt the strange atmosphere, shouted something, looked at the front worriedly, looked nervous, and stopped solemnly. The big brother in front squatted down, sniffed the ground, smiled at the corner of his mouth, and looked in a dark direction. Two people around him quickly attacked, one with a gun and the other with a knife, and slashed. Bang! The sound of gunfire appeared, and the big bear in the dark, Kang Konduo, avoided the shot, raised his hand, blocked the sharp knife, raised his foot, and slammed down the man in front of him. Hey! The two fell one by one, and the elder brother shot, moving faster, submerging into the darkness, his hands turned into claws, tearing apart the darkness. Bang! The three bounced off, and the bear took this opportunity to quickly leave the hole and disappear into the darkness. Hoo! Brother, is that the devil fruit ability? The big brother nodded gloomily. The devil fruit ability person, that kid has obtained the devil fruit ability person in a short period of time, and it is a difficult ability. Brother, you said if we were one step faster, didn't you? They are slow. The time for that kid to live with the power of the devil fruit is definitely just now. If they are one step faster, then the devil fruit is not theirs. Thinking that tens of millions of berry had disappeared in front of his eyes, the elder brother was even more angry, and it was a shame that the devil fruit was taken away by a kid. Follow me. Killing that kid, they didn't have the mind to play. A person who got the devil fruit, even a kid, should not be underestimated. Chapter 3 Anti-Kill Pirates. Cough cough. The physical strength was too much, and even if the bullet was healed, he could not fully recover. The main reason was that the bear was not very familiar with his own abilities. If he was given a few days, he would never be so embarrassed as he is now. The clothes are ragged, the hair smells smoky, like the hat of a panda, it has also turned black, the night deprives the vision. The bear takes a step, and looks around a few times, cautious, careful. The world of One Piece is full of dangers, sometimes from beasts, sometimes from pirates, so you can't be careless. He bowed his head and coughed and was attacked. Although he bounced back, he still received a lot of shocks. He couldn't stop, and followed three pirates behind him, although their strength was not strong. Compared with the current bear, it is much stronger, and the fighting experience, or the killing intent, is all above the bear. It's really confusing. He glanced back and saw three figures, quickly scurrying through the woods. Under their feet, it seemed that the trees were not their hindrance, but a help. Brother, that kid is in front, let's hurry. The three people behind them formed a siege situation and were played around by a little devil. They were full of anger and wanted to cut into pieces. The wind whistled and his movements were sharp. In the blink of an eye, he reached in front of the bear and drew his knife. There was no frightening sword light on the sharp blade, which made the bear feel a little more at ease. Raising his hands, the bear's paw was facing the blade, only to see that the blade had fallen into the bear's paw, as if it was about to cut open. However, the blade stopped moving forward, and a rebounding force followed. Boom! Several trees fell. The huge impact, the pirates spit out blood, gloomy eyes, terror like a beast. Boy, this way! Boom! The gunshots sounded, the bear raised his hands, his eyes condensed into one point, the bullet attacked the palm, and the sunken bear's paw slapped the pirate. The bullet flew out, and the pirate was caught off guard. He was shot in the arm and could not lift it up. Bang! The white bear's paw flew out from the bear's palm, and the speed was so fast that it could not be caught by the naked eye. Not good. Boom! Pieces of trees fell down, and when he saw his appearance, he had fainted, blood was on the ground, and he could not continue. The bear would not give up this opportunity, sprinted over, pressed down with a palm, and faced his head. With a rumbling sound, the ground sank in, and the pirate's head was no longer visible. Little devil, court death. The eldest brother who took the lead saw that one of his people was abolished, and he had no breath. Thunder was furious, his body changed, and his teeth became longer, like the minions of a fierce beast. There was a gust of wind, the bear rolled over, a pain in his shoulder and blood dripping. He looked down, a paw mark appeared on it, and the flesh was blurred. After rolling in a circle, he smelled the danger, rolled to the left, the blade slashed, and another pirate appeared in front, staring at him coldly. The two stood together, showing the killing intent. One held a knife, and the other turned into an animal, but it was a dog. Dog fruit ability. This pirate is also a capable person. The bear doesn't know whether he is lucky or unfortunate. He meets an incapable person just after going out. This probability is very low. If it is in the New World, he has nothing to say. There should not be a new world around here. He vaguely remembered that the surrounding environment and the strength of these people could not be people from the New World. Little devil, kill one of our brothers, you can't escape. You can't escape. The two of them said a word to each other. Ahem, you bastards. All the people in the village were slaughtered, and only a few survived. This group of pirates, who have done something against some people who have no power to fight back, are extremely sinful and unforgivable. Beasts. Haha, in this world, the weak eat the strong, and if you are strong, you have everything. You are not as strong as people. If you are killed, who can you blame? Yes. The bear's eyes gradually became gloomy. These two people, no, this pirate group, he is going to destroy them. Fist clenched, never so angry in my heart. Who are you? The dog fruit person shrugged his shoulders and said disdainfully, what? You still want to take revenge on us? Haha, a joke, a big joke, kid, you can't escape my palm today, just wait for death. Death to death. The man with the knife has always been taciturn, and it is troublesome to say more than one word. Pressure cannon. The palm was thrown out, and a bear's paw was compressed in the palm. The air condensed inside the white bear's paw, and slammed it out. The pressure cannon touched the body, and the man with the knife flew out. After rolling several times on the ground, a bear's paw emerged from his chest and sunk deeply into it. Pfft! The knife was stuck on the ground, blood spurted frantically, and the internal organs were hit in a mess. The man's face tensed and he stood up tremblingly. This devil fruit restrained itself, and the blade couldn't cut him, which was what troubled him, but it was not impossible to kill him. As long as he was fast enough, the little ghost in front of him couldn't catch it. Little devil, take your life. With his feet on the ground, a wind-like man appeared behind the bear, and the blade swept over. A look of joy appeared on his face. This kid did not die by his own hands in the end. To be cut. The knife was about to approach his body, about to cut in half. Suddenly, he felt a gust of wind coming from behind him, and a terrifying sense of crisis enveloped his body. The dog fruit person wanted to help, but he was too slow. The bear's hand had already been pressed down, and he slapped the ground against the body of the man with the knife. Boom! Puff puff! The blood splashed, and the whole body became a blood man. The bear raised his hands and moved his feet, but his body did not teleport, and a heavy blow came from behind, which was extremely painful. Ah! Painful screams came from his throat, and the bear rolled over and hid 3 meters away. He covered his back, his eyes were thoughtful, staring at the dog fruit person, taking advantage of the moment when he started to do it. Little devil, I'm going to kill you. He pulled out his brother's body, no breath, the body looked good from the outside, the inside had been smashed into a mess. The bear let his attack, smashed directly from the inside, compressed the air, and exploded from the inside. It seems that the effect is very good. He is very satisfied. He killed 2 people and left the most difficult person. How to kill him? Cough, dog fruit ability, not bad. The cold words made the pirates even more crazy, killed my 2 brothers, and came to mock me. Go to hell. The limbs changed, and the body became a dog. It opened its mouth and bit it. The bear rubbed the ground again and again, trying to teleport, but it couldn't. The teleportation failed, and he knew that it was certain that he was not strong enough to perform teleportation. Law. Blood washed a forest. Chapter 4 Thunder Means. Bang bang. The body flew out 10 meters, until it landed on the big tree surrounded by the 3 people in the distance. He opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood. The eyes were in a mess. Covering his chest, blood kept spilling out of the corners of his mouth. The bear felt that his internal organs were severely hit and shifted. He used his fruit ability to try to heal his injuries. To be precise, it is to pop out the pain and exhaustion of his own body, so as to restore the strongest state. In this regard, the Bartholomew bear is really strong and can develop a fruit that seems to have no effect. The degree of defying the sky is worthy of being one of the 7 martial Cs in one piece. Hey! Taking advantage of the bear disease, it will naturally kill him. The dog fruit person will not let him have such a good life. After killing 2 brothers, he can't get along with the boss after returning. Only by killing this kid, his consequences may be better. Little devil, go to hell! Kicked over, blowing a whirlwind. The bear raised his hands to withstand his attack, and with a slight push, the bear's paw in his palm released an extraordinary force, and the pirates were thrown away, only to hear a rumbling sound in the distance. The soil is flying and the trees are withering. In the chaos, the pirates rushed over again, grabbed the ground on all fours, and exploded with super speed, which is unmatched by other fruits. Those with animal fruit ability can obtain the wildness of animals, and the control is simple. For improving the speed of the body, attacking strength or recovery ability has an unparalleled effect. For example, if the pirate in front of him did not eat the dog fruit, his speed would be cut by at least half, and his attack power would be even more vulnerable. Cough cough. Xiong rolled his body, slapped his backhand, and roared from behind. He didn't need to look back, knowing that his palm was empty, and the threat behind him was still there, so he hurriedly rolled 3 times. Pushing his legs on the ground, jumping up, standing on the branch, his body recovered a little, enough to support him to fight reluctantly, his hands were facing down, and he performed the most classic bear movements, 1 hand on top, 1 hand on bottom, his eyes emitting contempt. Ha! The muscles of the whole body contracted, and the strength gathered in the palm of the hand, and bombarded violently against the bottom. Bang bang! A figure appeared on the ground, a fast sprinting pirate, who did not know when it appeared below, that position was exactly where the bear had just stood, and it was just bad, the bear's attack landed in this place. So, this pirate is tragic. Ah! Push the pressure cannon hard. Xiong knows that opportunities are not available. In the world of One Piece, during the battle, you cannot be careless or distracted. As soon as you catch an opportunity, you will kill him directly. Otherwise, the person who will die is likely to be himself. Pushing down with both hands, the bear paws in the palms of the palms quickly appeared one after another, cute and cute. Beneath the cute surface, is indeed the horror. Boom! In the blink of an eye, the ground sank, and a deep pit appeared in front of the bear's eyes. He leaned against the tree, unable to slide down, his body was weak, and his legs were weak. Sure enough, I'm still too weak. He was so weak that he only used a few attacking moves, but he was no longer able to support it, and his physical strength couldn't keep up. Hoo! With a deep breath, his back slid down, sitting on the branch, the bear smiled helplessly. I don't know if the dog is dead. As soon as the sound fell, the dust on the ground dissipated, and in the deep pit, a dog was lying there, with its limbs placed in a word for lying, and it was endless. His eyes were protruding and white, and the corners of his mouth twitched, and he could no longer move. From his lips, he seemed to be saying, "How is that possible?" Xiong breathed a sigh of relief, and finally managed to get these pirates. With his palm facing his chest, a cloud of red negative energy popped out, and his body gained a little strength. He stood up, jumped down, landed around him, and slapped him hard on the head. Crack! The head shattered instantly, and a mixture of blood and white fluttered in the sky. Xiong frowned, let go of the headless corpse, and looked at the way he came, looking into the distance. In the dark night, you can see the firelight, and the curling smoke rises, very dazzling. The village burned down and the sky was ablaze with fire. Is it coming? He dragged his tired body into the depths of the darkness, and shortly after he left, a group of people appeared in that place, dressed in pirate costumes, holding weapons, and their gloomy faces were enough to show that they were very angry. A group of people, looking at the corpse on the ground, just whispered softly, then dispersed, looking for traces of the bear. After an hour, somewhere in the forest, the two pirates suddenly stopped and pricked up their ears, as if they heard an interesting sound. They hurriedly booed and moved forward quietly. Pushing aside the grass in front of them, they saw a person, a child. Found it, it was him. The two were about to sneak in and kill the kid in one fell swoop. The body just took a step forward, and the crisis came from behind. The two stiffly moved their necks and took a look behind them. No! The screams spread throughout the forest, breaking the dark night. This scream will happen in many places tonight, and the person who did it, our protagonist Xiong, is constantly looking for opportunities to kill these inhuman pirates. He specially looked for pirates who could kill them in seconds. For those strong people, he did not dare to start. Now they are too weak. After killing a few people, he immediately changed to another place. In this way, within an hour, he killed more than a dozen people, and each time he disappeared, causing the pirates to panic and prepare to retreat. At this time, a big man came among the pirates. A burly man, standing in the middle, stared around. His eyes were like the eyes of a beast, penetrating all the darkness. Captain! Alas, the jackal, the leader of the jackal pirates. The symbol of the pirates is a jackal head, shouting in the sky, majestic and majestic. Behind him, dozens of pirates followed, and each of them exuded a murderous aura, and their bodies were stained with 2 or 3 lives per person. Captain, there was a kid who escaped and killed more than a dozen of our brothers, and we. Alas just glanced at him, and with a flick of his hand, the head of the talking pirate flew out, blood sprayed like spring water, and the surrounding pirates looked even more frightened. A kid can't handle it, what's the use of me asking you guys? Search for me, I want that kid to live rather than die. Yes, Captain. A group of people did not dare to disobey the captain's order. Under the threat of power, they moved forward to search for traces of bears, while alas, the jackal, looked somewhere with a different kind of light flashing in his eyes. Chapter 5, Nameless Island. Ding! The sword energy ripped apart the tree, torn apart and scattered, and a figure passed through it, holding a sword in each hand, crossed each other, and stood in front of the body. The hands were violently thrown out, and on the sharp sword edge, a sword light could be seen with the naked eye, which was a sign that the swordsman had reached a certain level and could emit sword energy. The bear stretched out his hand slowly, his cute palm, which made the swordsman stunned for a moment. His hands exerted strength, the bulging muscles were terrifying, and the anger that was looked down upon by others was vented at one time. Chop! The sword light is sharp, attacking everything, unstoppable. The bear's palm touched the sword light, and the sunken flesh palm lifted up, the sword light flew away, and the two swords came over, still unable to break through the defense. With a push of the palm, the swordsman fell out. There was a sound of gunshots behind him, breaking through the air, and in the blink of an eye, he went to his back. The bear waved his hand, and the bullet stayed in the palm of his hand, which happened to be the red center. It's for you. Hey! Bullets pierced through the woods, and occasionally there was a miserable cry. "Humph, boy, I think you're getting carried away, aren't you?" A man appeared behind the bear, and his fist was covered with a layer of air, which smashed down the bear's back. Bang! 3 meters away, the bear knelt down on the ground, and the wind whistled behind him. The swordsman who flew out did not know when he got behind him, and he slashed his swords toward the sky, trying to tear apart the grey sky. 2 swords flow cut. Slashing with 2 knives, the ground tore open 2 openings. Xiang glanced at his back angrily, and was almost cut. He reacted quickly, and the moment he appeared, he found danger, otherwise, it would be dangerous. "Good speed, boy." The swordsman sheathed his sword and looked at the bear with a smile, without the slightest frustration that his attack failed. This abnormal attitude made Xiang's heart startled. Looking around, there was no major danger approaching, but why did his heart keep beating? Well! Suddenly, they turned around, the sound of gunfire filled the air, and a group of people walked out of the darkness holding flames, surrounded by a large number of people, at least 50 or 60 people. Everyone's strength is not bad, and they have weapons, either with swords, guns, or knives, and staring at the bear with a smile. Captain Arisla put on his jacket, the swordsman walked beside him, followed by a group of pirates, staring at the bear. "Little devil, your life is really tough, you won't die. I didn't want to kill you when I met a little devil like you. People with extraordinary talent should get a chance. It's a pity, I don't want anyone in this village to go out alive, so, you." He pointed his finger at the bear, his tone was cold. "So, you must die. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it!" The torches were raised like a banquet, and all the pirates cheered loudly, shouting "Kill!" With crazy expressions, they liked to watch the enemy step by step to fear and perish. What surprised them was that the kid in front of him was expressionless and his eyes were cold, like a cold winter. "There are many people who want to kill me, what kind of shit are you?" Spitting out these gentle and crisp words from the bear's mouth, the surrounding pirates were stunned. This kid, didn't he see the situation clearly? Is he really not afraid of death? At such a time, we offend our captain, "Little devil, I will obey you if I am not accustomed to the soil and water." The swordsman's sword trembled slightly, his expression did not change, and he concealed it well. He secretly glanced at the captain beside him, and found that the captain's face was not good looking, and he shook his head helplessly. "Kid, you're done." The bear ignored his pitying eyes and looked directly at Captain Aris. "Why do you want to slaughter my people? Pirates kill, do you need a reason?" Alas raised his head and laughed. "I thought you kid wouldn't mind their lives, haha, kid, I ask you, since pirates are pirates, why can't they kill people?" "Yes, pirates kill, right? Little devil, figure it out, stop being fearless in resistance, and lead to death." His brows were raised, his eyes were cold, his feet rubbed the ground, and he turned around in front of the bear. Under the surprised gaze of the bear, his body flew out and hit the ground hard. "Little devil, it's useless, resisting me will only make you more desperate." Another kick, this one harder and faster. Kicked directly on the chest of the bear, it was clearly visible, the flesh was sunken, and the bones made a crisp click sound. Pfft! Xiang's facial features are flat, and pain is in his eyes, but a mosquito bite is not a big problem. Gently wiping the corners of his mouth, he stood up, his tiny body, standing very straight. "Desperate, are you worthy?" Bang! The feet are even more violent, 1 foot, 2 feet, crazy like a storm, only to see shadows moving. This is leg work to a certain extent, and the sound of bone shattering is more intense. The bear shivered a few steps, staggered, kicked his back feet on the ground, gritted his teeth and spread his arms. One hand tried to catch his leg, but it was empty. Bang! With a kick in the face, the head flew out first, followed by the body. "Little devil, I've already seen through your actions. Don't you feel naive to want to catch Uncle Ben?" Stepping on the ground and approaching the bear step by step, there is no need for others to do anything at all. He alone is enough to make the bear difficult to support. Xiang stood up tremblingly, the pain on his body made his eyebrows squeeze together, his bones were sore, and the bones around his body were broken, and he could not feel the strength. "Can't stay here any longer. To get out of here. It is not too late for a gentleman to take revenge. Leave the green hills without worrying about no firewood." Cough cough. "Look up, stare, look at each other. Ha ha." Alas, the jackal laughed wildly. "Little devil, your eyes are good, but unfortunately, you are doomed to die." The bear immediately responded, using the fruit ability. The air around his body was greatly compressed, sweating, his face flushed, compressed, and compressed wildly. The body is about to move, but it's not enough, the distance is not enough. Seeing the jackal Eris approaching, he almost increased his strength, his body began to collapse, and the bear roared, "Move me! Empty!" The jackal alas looked at his feet in disbelief. The attack was empty, the kid disappeared, and under his eyes, there was no breath of him around. "I will come back again. You wait. The day I come back will be the time when the blood will flow into the river." A gloomy yet gentle voice floated from the void and slowly disappeared. Jackal alas, with a gloomy face and blood-red eyes, stared at the younger brother around him and roared. "Don't hurry up and find that little devil. You want to see people in life, and you want to see corpses in death." "Yes. Yes." The younger brothers did not dare to ask too much, and went to look for traces of the bear, and our bear, at this moment, is no longer on this small island, and came to an unknown island, and passed out. Chapter 6: The Beast Crisis. The island is surrounded by water, and the turbulent currents wash the surrounding shores, soil erosion and quicksand. The clear water receded and came up again, sometimes repeatedly, tirelessly. At the end of the current, a person was lying on the beach, his legs were completely immersed in the water, a pair of shoes had disappeared, and his bare legs were wrinkled white. The blood on the back was blurred, and the blood was washed away, but there were still traces of blood on the clothes. Under the tattered clothes was a man lying peacefully. The man started motionless, lying on the beach like a dead man. At this time, if a wild beast came, there would soon be a pile of bones left on the ground. Obviously, the man's luck was good. The water flow covered most of the blood and concealed his position. Suddenly, the man moved and his fingers shook slightly. With just one click, the crab that was about to crawl forward jumped and quickly left this behemoth, which was very funny. The bear felt that his body was not his own, the bones were broken, and he couldn't lift his strength. He could only move his two arms. He opened his eyes and checked the surrounding environment. After being temporarily safe, he breathed a sigh of relief. What followed was hunger. He was hungry, and he experienced a battle, exhausted his physical strength, and added injuries. He lay in this place for an unknown amount of time, and his hunger became more and more hungry. Chapped lips, licking and licking lips, moisture rising, confused eyes looking for food, Bear smiled bitterly, raised his hand, gritted his teeth, pain spread to every corner of his body. Trembling, the body is trembling, and it will collapse at any time. The palm pressed on the body, the most painful chest, pressing the flesh and blood in the body, and popping out the pain that belonged to him. The red polymer slowly bounced out from the inside of the body. Gradually getting bigger, at first it was only the size of a fist, and the back directly surpassed his size, and it was still getting bigger. Hoo-hoo! After the pain popped out, he felt comfortable all over and couldn't help groaning. He lay on the beach for a long time, about an hour, maybe 2 hours, and he felt that he could get up and walk. The recovery of his body was beyond his expectations. Big Bear's body was worthy of being Big Bear's body. Even when he was a child, he was so strong. With the ability of Devil Fruit, it complemented each other. It's a fighting weapon. I fought with you to hurt, but in the end, I was not injured, and you were scarred. This is the difference. Finally alive, Jackal Black Bandit, you wait for me. Standing up and walking into the forest, the island is verdant, surrounded by trees, extraordinarily huge, and the intertwined rattan blocks the way of many animals, but in the eyes of the bear, these are not problems. After peeling off the cane, he walked forward step by step. Suddenly, the bear returned with a high five, only to hear a wailing sound. A wolf lay on the ground, his body twitched, his eyes rolled, and he lost his breath. Today's food has fallen. The bear couldn't help but feel happy. He stepped through the iron shoes and found nowhere to find it. It took no effort to get it. The food was really food. He picked up the wolf's body, found a relatively safe place, and started cooking. Simple cooking is still possible. After the bear is cleaned, it is roasted on the fire, turning in circles without stopping, and the barbecue is even, ensuring that every inch of meat can be delicious. Zzz. The oil dripped on the flame, and the smell was strong. The smell of meat made the bear swallow a few mouthfuls and lick his lips. It was not time yet, he continued to grill, and then smeared a little salt. Add a little more seasoning. This is a nearby plant. It tastes good. The bear is added to it and it is burned by fire, and the taste is even more fragrant. When it's cooked, bite it when you open your mouth, ignore the blazing heat, take a bite, and a burst of energy pours out of your abdomen, penetrating the whole body, and the consumed physical strength recovers in an instant, with an amazing speed. A wolf, under the bear's mouth, disappeared in just a few quarters of an hour, leaving an empty shelf, still small, and didn't need a lot of food, and the bear couldn't help but start to worry. As his body grows, the food he needs is not ordinary. You must know that in the anime, the body of a bear is bigger and stronger than ordinary people, like a giant. Covering his forehead, the bear sometimes sighs that being too big is not a good thing, and he has to worry about food all the time. After eating and drinking enough, the body was almost recovered, and the bear began to exercise. Since he came to this terrifying world, he could not survive in this world without the ability to protect himself. Now he is not the tyrant bear of the future. He has no self-protection ability, no family that defies the sky, no strong backer, and no so-called master, relying on himself. The only thing he can do is to rely on himself. There are unknown dangers on this island, and he can't walk around for the time being. Being in a corner is the best choice. At present, he is not strong enough to challenge anyone, not even animals. In the afterglow of the setting sun, a man was flying non-stop. That's right, he was flying between the trees, and sometimes he appeared on the branches. Before he could stand still, a dog threw his shit and fell. Pain. After the pain, he continued to train again, kicked the air again, speeding up a little, using the devil fruit to compress the surrounding air, and in a trance, the space became quiet. He moved, his body was faster than light, and in the blink of an eye, when he was 3 meters away, his footsteps landed steadily. Before the bear had time to be happy, a fierce beast flew over, and after waiting for a long time, it opened its huge mouth and stretched out its sharp claws. Compared with the bear, it was a behemoth. Roar! Before the roar could be heard, a wailing sound resounded through the forest, causing a flurry of jumping. Roar! The bear did not know when it appeared behind the beast, and pressed one hand on his back, a distance away from the body. A cute bear paw appeared on the body of the beast, passed through the body, and fell on the ground, leaving deep traces. Retracting his palms and standing up, Xiong grabbed the body of the beast with one hand, a slight smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, and dinner was ready for tonight. A day of exercise, all exercising the same skill, teleportation. This is a good skill for escaping, and it is necessary for robbery and cannot be ignored. The most important thing in a fight is to escape for one's life. With teleportation, ask the world where you can't go. Exercise and proficiency, bears must be thoroughly familiar with this skill, and only then can they walk in the world of pirates and take revenge. Today is over. Yes, one day of exercise is over, and tomorrow will come again. This island has also begun to gradually lift its mysterious veil and welcome the King of Bears. Chapter 7 Physical Strengthening. A month later, in the forest, a man was walking leisurely among a group of beasts. The beast stopped abruptly, smelled the breath of strangers, and instantly raised his vigilance to the highest point, turned his head, stared at the bear, and waved his claws to attack, trying to tear this human kid who didn't know the heights of the sky to pieces. Bang! The ground roared, countless claws fell, the ground sank, and the bear disappeared. Appearing again, the bear stood on top of one of the beasts and performed his classic movements, one hand down and the other up. The upper hand quickly dropped and pressed against the air behind the beast. Hum! The sound of the air vibrating and buzzing a few times came from the ear. The beast became sluggish, the movement was slow, the limbs were limp, and it was paralyzed on the ground, unable to resist. The other beasts smelled the dangerous breath. Ho ho! Swooping on it is bound to kill the bear. The ruthless me, I like to torture and kill you the most. The pressure cannon is shot mercilessly with the palm of the hand, as if it does not need strength, one palm after another, the palm of the hand is moved, the air is compressed in an instant, and the rippling breath emanating from the middle of the palm can be vaguely seen. The pressure cannon flew out like a cannonball, and followed the bear's body in a circle. In an instant, the surroundings became quiet. There was not a single beast in the air. After the silence, there were bursts of roaring sounds in the distance, the soil was flying, and the trees fell. Xiong squatted down and picked up the beast under his feet. This was his lunch today. He ate meat for a month in a row. He was already obsessed with the taste of meat. Different beasts had different tastes. The beast under his feet has the best taste and is very good for the body. In 1 month, the bear's body has become stronger. Compared with before, it is an earth-shaking change. In the past, he was undernourished, his face was yellow and his muscles were thin, but now it is different. The whole body is full of wild taste, the muscles are jagged, and the body seems to have grown taller. The biggest change is the power of the bear, which becomes stronger, and crushes the rocks with one palm. With the meatball fruit, the destructive power is even more amazing. There is no beast that can take a palm under his palm. He dragged the beast back to his home, a simple home built with several wooden slats on top of which were covered with large leaves, all of which were unfamiliar plants. The bear didn't care what he was, and everything he could use was good. Ignite, grill, start complicated steps, can't grieve yourself in what you eat, either don't eat or eat the best. There was no requirement to be picky before, but now that there is, it must be picky. After roasting and taking a bite, Xiong found that his cooking skills had improved a lot compared with before, he was more like a chef. If he could, he might wear makeup to become a professional chef in the future, and not many people recognized him. After eating a meal, start the afternoon exercise instantaneously in the morning, and exercise the body in the afternoon. Although the devil fruit is very strong, the body should not be too bad, otherwise, it will not be able to stand at the top. In the world of One Piece, strong people have strong bodies, such as the 4 emperors. Every emperor who reigns over the world, their bodies are in a mess, especially Kaido, known as the strongest creature in the sea, land, and air, a man who cannot be killed. The body has been strengthened to the peak of the extreme. There are many people who rely on their strong bodies to dominate the world. There are also counter-examples. Moonlight Moria, one of the 7 seas under the king, is really a magic duck. Except for relying on devil fruits, everything else is a mess. The purpose of the bear is very simple. To exercise, if he can press the air, he will create a simple air pressure environment for himself, and increase it step by step. It cannot be too large or too small. If the air pressure is too high, it will cause danger, such as direct explosion of body organs and collapse of the body. If the air pressure is too low, the essence of exercise will not be achieved. Xiang stood in the air balloon he controlled and started a frantic exercise. He threw his fists, closed his fists, kicked his legs, closed his legs, and played a set of boxing techniques. Even if it is Tai Chi, I don't remember very clearly. Xiang sometimes really regrets it. Why did he read more books and learn boxing methods back then, so that he would not be as ignorant as he is now? But fortunately, all martial arts in the world are based on the same principle, and they cause huge damage through different ways of exerting force. A punch threw out, shaking the air. Although it was weak, the bear knew that his exercise was effective, punching, sweating, short of breath, exercising inside the sphere. The effect was several times more than outside. A punch will make you feel the power of the air pressure. Every inch of the body's skin is oppressed, the muscles are pushed, the oxygen is reduced, the breathing is short, and soon, the bear is lying on the ground. After releasing the air pressure, he took a deep breath and lay on the ground, letting his muscles relax and shaking violently. After a quarter of an hour, the bear recovered and started the same exercise again, adding weight, exercising. The seemingly simple action contains huge power. When one punches out, the trees are directly smashed. Every time the bear exercises, he feels the cheers of flesh and blood. The accelerated movement feels really wonderful. The body has become stronger, the strength is fierce, and the momentum has become different. This exercise is only a few hours. When it comes time to eat something, most of it is meat. The physical strength is huge, and it needs a lot of meat and energy. One beast can no longer satisfy the bear's appetite, but two are considered to satisfy his appetite. After eating, the bear starts exercising again at night, and at night is the control of the devil fruit. Development is not needed for the time being, because he can't seem to think of any other moves to develop, control the devil fruit, which is the control of his own abilities. For example, the pressure cannon, the big bear in the animation can be launched instantly, making people caught off guard, and then coma and even die. As for him, he can't. It is a very difficult thing to fire a pressure cannon in an instant. It is necessary to control the strength and use the devil fruit to the point of proficiency. Many people get the natural devil fruit, which is elementalized for the first time, which can avoid a lot of damage. This is the power of the natural devil fruit. The superhuman devil fruit needs to be developed, constantly developed, and become more and more powerful. If it is not developed, it is a useless devil fruit. There are no waste devil fruits, only waste people. Exercising in the evening lasted until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, when he was considered to have fallen asleep slightly. When exercising a day, he only slept for 3 or 4 hours, and he had to sleep. Now his body is still growing. I have been exercising for about 20 hours a day for a month, and bears will do the same in the future. Plan well, if you want to live better in the world of One Piece, you must exercise all the time. Chapter 8 Mother Tyrannosaurus Rex. Another 7 days. The effect of physical exercise gradually weakened, and the crazy improvement that did not start, physical fitness and so on have reached a certain limit. Xiang knows that continuing to exercise will not have much effect. The pressure ball was lifted, and the air pressure returned to normal. Now, he is not out of breath, his legs are not bent, his waist is straight, and the frantic exercise has not caused him to fall down, but he is full of energy. Looks like I'm going out to fight. With a slightly mature tone, it was said from the mouth of a 10-year-old boy. It was very funny, but Xiang didn't find it funny, he was not a child at all. Walking into the depths of the forest, this is not the first time he has entered. During the exercise, for the sake of food, he has entered many times. The surrounding animals seem to know his danger and dare not approach him. There are no more fools who have thrown themselves into the trap. Animal. Empty hands, bare feet, walking into the wet forest, the roar of beasts occasionally came out, and the bear did not slow down. Along the way, I encountered a lot of beasts, such as a house-sized tiger with a pair of white fangs, and the bear was not interested in it. Ordinary beasts, he is not interested. What he is looking for now is the strongest beast on this island. Ho ho! A roar, earth-shattering, birds and beasts walked away, panicked. The trees vibrated violently, the fallen leaves were colorful, and the shaking ground all alerted the surrounding danger. Xiang rubbed his fists, his blood boiled, his face was full of excitement, and the battle was coming. Roar! Boom! Boom! The ferocious beast showed its ferocity from a distance, such as the size of a house, its hideous head, with dense fangs, drooling, and two small hands with sharp claws, extremely fierce. His legs were powerful, and he stepped on the ground for a step, and the surrounding space seemed to be shaking. Tyrannosaurus Rex, the king of the island, the beast standing at the top of the food chain. It came just fine. Xiang teleported and walked quickly, and came to the back of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, his hands turned into fists, and smashed down the Tyrannosaurus's back with a humming sound. His arms were numb, as if hitting a boulder. With 2 punches in a row, his fists were reddened by the shock, and the bear quickly stepped back, not daring to continue attacking. Roar! The momentum is huge, roaring via a space, and the bear teleports again, dodging all attacks. Speed is everything, and the Tyrannosaurus Rex's attack power is terrifying. What can be done above him? If you don't touch him, you will always be a loser. Hard enough. The fist trembled slightly, and it took a long time to calm down. The bear couldn't help but look at the Tyrannosaurus Rex. The back was covered with a thick layer of armor like steel, and it couldn't break through the defense. His fist, his attack power, wanted to kill him from the back. Tyrannosaurus Rex, obviously unlikely. Of course, this is the bear using the body. Without the ability of the devil fruit, the attack power will be weakened a lot. Roar! After sprinting for 2 steps, the Tyrannosaurus Rex suddenly came to the front, and its huge mouth fell into the sky. It's useless, you can't bite me, it's a waste of effort. The figure disappeared in an instant, and reappeared. Standing on the head of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, the bear assumed his classic pose, only to find out that he couldn't kill him directly. He had to test his physical strength, and this paragraph, the fruit of time, simply put down the palm. Bang! The tail swept over, and the bear was caught off guard, hit, and flew out. Cough cough. Insidious enough. The bear stood up. The blow was not too heavy. He felt that his body was about to fall apart. He twisted his neck, his body was not seriously injured, and he was not ready. Back, back, keep back, legs back quickly, fists smashed forward, punch after punch, no effect. With his back foot on the ground, Xiang's right hand clasped his fingers together, his body arched up, and his whole body was concentrated on his fist. Get out of here! Boom! The huge body of the Tyrannosaurus Rex flew out with a bang, the trees collapsed, and there was a piece of rubble. Around the mess, Tyrannosaurus Rex's footsteps roared, galloping like flying, sweeping its tail, missing, tearing its claws, its sharp fangs ready to go, opening its mouth to bite. A series of attacks stopped the bear for a moment, backed up, attacked, his fist hit the head and tail of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the bear flew out several times, spitting out a few mouthfuls of blood. The power of the Tyrannosaurus Rex was extremely powerful. After enduring several attacks, he did not dare to continue being beaten, and his body could not bear it. The defense is amazing, the attack power is strong, and the speed is beyond that of ordinary beasts. No wonder he can become the overlord of the island. Being able to become the overlord is not without reason. The bear flew out again. The tail of the Tyrannosaurus Rex was so annoying. Every time you thought it had no means of attack, the tail came out of the air. Cough cough. The bear looked down at himself. The tattered clothes were even more tattered, one by one, the hair was half scattered on the shoulders, a hat and a Bible, it was completely a Bartholomew bear. Can't continue playing. Xiong had a decision in his heart. Although the Tyrannosaurus Rex was powerful, it had little effect on him. Roar! The huge body that stepped over came first with its tail, followed by its fangs, and all of a sudden, there was a gust of wind, waiting for the rain of blood to fall. Xiong smiled slightly, and the figure disappeared, leaving only an afterimage. Tyrannosaurus Rex couldn't eat the flesh and blood of human beings. The bear looked down, raised his right hand, and slapped the air hard, only to see a white breath in the air, and a bear paw moved to the body of the Tyrannosaurus Rex at high speed, and then passed through its body. Body. Boom. The ground sank in, the air slapped the ground continuously, and several bear paws fell like a rapid fall. Tyrannosaurus Rex didn't have time to resist, lying on the ground, shivering. The body was crouched, curled up, and suffered a violent attack. In an instant, blood spurted wildly. The bear stopped and landed on the ground, staring at the half-dead Tyrannosaurus Rex in front of him, and said softly, "Do you want to kill you, or let yourself die?" Woohoo! Tyrannosaurus Rex showed a humanized expression of begging for mercy, hazy, like a daughter who was very afraid of her father. "If you want to live, that's right, the ants are stealing your life, let alone a beast like you who enjoys killing every day." The bear touched his chin, turned around, raised his feet, and wanted to leave. The footsteps stopped. Pause. Turning around and smiling, he said, "It seems that I am a little kind, what should I do?" The bear lifted his foot and left, and the Tyrannosaurus Rex was grateful to see the bear's back, ready to leave. A bear paw slowly fell from the sky, white and transparent, ready to move. Boom! The entire island was half destroyed, the sea washed away, and the creatures on it were almost killed and injured. The 9th chapter returns to hometown, revenge begins. It's a sick world. This is an irredeemable world. When Xiong walked on the path of his hometown again, he was full of ruins, despair, and sadness. The blood here still has residual warmth. For almost 2 months, no one has come here. There are many sorrows, dead people, and exposed bones. What kind of world is this? The bear buried all the clansmen. It is a difficult thing to find the complete bones. He spliced it together little by little, and buried it in this piece of soil full of sadness. Clan, family, relatives, and childhood friends, no one in the whole village survived, only him. He stood in front of the grave, without tears, 1 piece's time, no tears needed. He's the big bear, he's the tyrant, and his name is Bartholomew the Bear, a man who doesn't cry. How could the dust in the distance fall and bury an unknown story? And my trace, in the afterglow of a setting sun, emits the only heat. He left, leaving this place full of sadness and despair. At this moment, there was only one thought in his mind, to destroy the Jackal pirates, to avenge his family, to avenge his clan, and to avenge all the dead. This night, a flame slowly rose, trying to burn down the entire world. 3 days later, on the ocean, a small boat sailed slowly. There are no bad waves, no storms, 3 days, 1 day of violent storms, 1 day of thunderstorms, and the last day, the wind is calm. Xiong stood on the boat and looked ahead. For the past 3 days, he has been looking for the trace of a pirate group. A small town appeared in front of him, and the bustling atmosphere came oncoming. The bear dodged, the boat at sea sank completely, and then smashed into pieces, turning into pieces of wood, roaming on the ruthless sea. The town is called Migo, and it is a small town far from the great waterway. From time to time, there will be many pirates around to replenish food. This small town is a gathering place for evil and kindness. The prosperity outside covers the darkness inside. As soon as he stepped into the town, the bear encountered the darkness of the town. Several gangsters quickly surrounded the bear and took out the weapons they thought were scary, a dagger, a steel pipe, and a sword. "Little devil, do you know whose territory is Mig Town? You dare to set foot on my territory alone, you are very brave. I see that you are in rags, and you must have no money. We will show mercy. As long as you kneel down and learn how to bark 3 times, I will let you pass, how about that?" "Ha ha! Ha ha!" The sound of laughter, ridicule, the sound of the ear, the sound of harshness. Xiang Mun raised his head and looked at these humble little mice with pity. It was their sorrow to be born in this era, and it was their cowardice to be a blessing here. Such scum, apart from bullying the weak, what role do they have in this world? He raised his hand and threw it a few times, and the bear ran unimpeded. After passing by, there were corpses left on the ground, and the blood was still hot. To blame, only blame them for being unlucky. The bear is in a very bad mood now. After killing someone, he walked to the door of a tavern. The bear walked in, pushed open the door that had been in disrepair, and entered the pirates who were busy drinking. What followed was more roaring laughter. "Ha ha, kid! What did I see? A brat with no long hair is coming to drink too, ha ha! Ha ha! Little devil, this is not the place you should come, go home and drink your mother's milk." A few burly men spoke rudely, and Xiang raised his head and glared at them, arousing their dissatisfaction, eager to teach this ignorant kid a lesson. "I don't want to kill people here." The noisy pub suddenly became quiet. "Ha ha! Ha ha, I don't want to kill people here. Ha ha!" Laughter filled every corner, some holding their stomachs, some laughing with tears, and those burly men gradually approached. "Little devil, your mother didn't educate you, can't you be too arrogant?" A slap came over with great force. He wanted to kill the bear directly, but the bear frowned, moved his feet, appeared behind the 3 of them, and patted the back with his palm facing. Boom! 3 figures flew out, blood splashed all over the ground, and even the innocent people flew out, leaving the tavern in a mess. The other pirates who were watching the play looked at the bear in shock, dumbfounded. A few people who had laughed at the bear secretly left, not daring to stay at the scene. The bear walked to the front, and the boss looked calm, obviously not surprised by this kind of thing. "I can help you, sir." After pouring a glass of wine, the boss asked kindly that what happened just now did not frighten him. "I heard that you are the most well-informed here. I want to find a pirate group." "Pirates?" The boss paused for a moment, then said, "Which one?" "Jack." Xiang spit out 2 words slowly, looking at the boss with interest. The boss wiped the table, pondered for a moment, and knocked on the table. "My rules, do you understand?" "Whoa!" Taking out a bag of berry, the bear said expressionlessly, "Is it enough?" The boss opened it and saw that the number of glittering berry was enough. He nodded in satisfaction and began to say, 3 days ago, they came to this town, and they haven't left yet. Go out and turn left and keep walking, you should be able to find them." "Them?" The bear said nothing, turned to leave, and didn't drink. The boss worried, "You better be careful, the Jackal pirates are not easy, and they are also ranked in the East China Sea." The bear didn't stop, and strode forward. He had learned the strength of the Jackal pirates. In order to destroy them, he worked hard and rested for less than 4 hours a day. Now that the enemy has been found, how could he not go? Exterminate them. The boss looked at the bear's back, sad, determined, and pitiful. "They're all poor people. Bow your head and continue to organize the tavern." In the other direction of the town, a group of pirates are drinking together, smiling and clinking glasses. They were immersed in joy, surrounded by several women, their clothes were cleanly stripped, there were traces of erosion on their bodies, and their grey pupils had lost hope in life. A little further away, a house was burning with flames, black smoke curled up, the blood on the ground was terrifyingly bright, and corpses lay together like a purgatory on earth. Here, a massacre just happened. Chapter 10: The Nightmare of the Jackal Pirates. Day is like night. The suffocation of hell was oncoming, and there were corpses lying around, blood escaping from the wounds on their bodies, staining the land red. Next to them was a group of laughing pirates. They had just finished enjoying their happiness, drinking rum and talking about each other's glorious deeds. I personally killed my uncle's family back then, and when I walked out of the village, no one dared to stop me a step. You know, at that time, I will never forget the eyes of our village chief. What's this, isn't it just killing a few people? Back then, I destroyed half the village and killed dozens of people. In the end, the so-called navy didn't dare to chase after me. I didn't expect you to do this kind of thing. I thought I was the only one. Haha, cheers. Come on, cheers. Slaughter, slaughter, in their eyes, is nothing but a passing glance. The slaughter of the past is the oral conversation of the present. It is a pleasure to talk about it and it will pass. Clink glasses, drink, gulp down, one glass is dry, then there is a second glass, a third glass. Little did they know that the danger was coming. A demon was slowly crawling out of hell. A figure appeared above the roof in the distance. He was wearing a set of very cute panda clothes, with a panda hat on his head, and the spots were slowly. He put on a pile of leather shoes under his feet, which were disproportionate to his body, very large and very long. He squatted down, sat on the roof, stared at the group of pirates in front of him, the flying pirate flags, and the symbols on their bodies were vaguely revealed, which were the imprints from the depths of the soul. It's them. Finally found them. Bartholomew Bear, our bear sits on it with a smile. He raised his hand and fiddled with his hat, his eyes were empty, his smile slowly disappeared, hidden deep in his heart, and the cold killing intent spread with the wind. Hey! Murderers! The pirates who were drinking felt a dangerous breath, their nerves suddenly lifted, and they stared around to check, but found no trace of anyone. Call out! The sound of breaking the air rang in his ears, and the pirates who responded quickly wanted to make a sound, but found that his body fell down, cutting off his breath. One died, silently, followed by a second, and then a third. The murderer is like a ghost, wandering among the many pirates, one point, one touch, dead, flying away. After one round of slaughter, there were more than a dozen corpses on the ground. The bear clapped his palms and calmly looked at the dozen or so pirates left in front of him, watching their fear, panic, fear, despair, and trembling. You, who are you? The courageous pirate, trembling, asked the fear in his heart. The people who killed you. As soon as the words fell, the murderous intentions started together, leaving only an afterimage. The pirate turned his head stiffly, he saw it, saw despair. No. Amidst the screams, his body burst apart, turning into powder like a bomb. There were no bones left, flesh and blood scattered all over the place, and the surrounding pirates were splattered with blood, and even the bears were covered. He hated wiping his body and looked at the other pirates. It's your turn. The words that came out slowly, the rhythm was 3 beats slower than ordinary people, the pirates did not dare to laugh at them, they stepped back again and again, and fear dominated their hearts. We are from the Jackal Pirates, you. The Jackal Pirates are also well known in this area of the sea. Today, they were approached by a kid and slaughtered more than a dozen people, but they had no resistance. This person's movements are fast, and he can't catch the slightest shadow, let alone attack, and he doesn't even know how he died. I'm telling you, our captain will be here soon, and by then, you won't be able to die. When the pirate talked about the captain, the fear in his heart dissipated a little, and he was full of confidence. Seeing that the bear did not move, he thought he was frightened, and he continued to threaten, "Little devil, I advise you to leave in the end, otherwise, you will regret it." The bear raised his head and glanced at him lightly. The pirate couldn't move, as if he was frozen. Then, he smelled the smell of death. "No!" Shouting his throat, he couldn't stop the coming of death. The bear's palm had come down, facing his body, from top to bottom, smashed into powder, and scattered with the wind. The ground is full of minced meat, and there is no intact piece to be seen. Gollum! Yuck! Yuck! The throat rolled, and the pirates saw a lot of killing. Seeing it at this moment, they couldn't help but turn the river into the sea. One by one turned pale, turned around and vomited. The bear frowned, treating animals without mercy, killing them is as simple as killing an animal. He had already passed the first step of killing. Now that he thinks about it, he didn't feel any discomfort or disgust when he killed him, as if everything happened naturally. Naturally, go with the flow. The bear sometimes wonders if he is naturally indifferent and contempt for life to the extreme. You get used to it when you vomit. A pirate's pupils widened, and he waved his hand again and again, and Xiong's ruthless palm patted it down, and it suddenly fell on the ground like rain. Red, flowing red, penetrated the ground, flesh and blood, blurring a piece of land. Bang bang! With a slap, it was as simple as slapping an ant to death. The bear turned into a demon, and he became more and more proficient in the ability of the meatball fruit. He teleported to the pirate's side, and slapped it down, sending endless darkness. Death instantly covers this place. When the bear stopped, there was no sign of anyone on the ground, leaving only a blood-red patch. On the surrounding leaves, the residual meat foam was shaky, the leaves could not bear the gravity, bent down, and the meat foam fell on the ground, adding red color. Red is bright, but also the slaughter of death. The bear put away his hand and patted it lightly. It was not stained with blood, but it was stained with sin. Gloves, he subconsciously looked for gloves, and found that he didn't bring them with him. When he bought them just now, he forgot to buy them. Too weak. He was so weak that he didn't even bother to do anything. These scoundrels were the culprits who killed his village. They died to atone for their sins. He will not pity them. May you go to heaven. Close your eyes and pray silently in your heart. Heaven and hell are sometimes relative. The bear was empty-handed and had nothing in his palm, which made him feel awkward. Occasionally, he saw a shadow, coming quickly, all the way to dust, staying not far from him, staring at him angrily. His eyes were very familiar, just like him at that time. Chapter 11 Jackal Fruit Ability Man. It's you, kid, where are my subordinates? With angry eyes, bloodshot eyes in his pupils, he turned into a wolf, slowly changed back to human form, stared at the bear, and Thunder was furious. His anger, Xiong can feel, is much weaker and weaker than his original self. Behind him, more than a dozen pirates came, and Xiong's eyes lit up with a ghostly smile. Angry? Hate me? I'll make you hate me even more. The figure flashed, the movement was fast, and the jackal heiress rushed over, empty, only a piece of soil was left in the place, and the raised smoke and dust dispersed with the wind. He thought of something, turned back quickly, and saw a scene that made him angry. No. The bear appeared behind a pirate and whispered, "If you want to travel, where do you want to go?" Before waiting for the pirate to speak, he slapped his palm, and the pirate's body shattered, and he couldn't even let out a wailing sound. The other pirates walking faced each other with swords and attacked fiercely. Obviously, they don't know how the previous people died. The bear is no longer the previous one. Killing them is as simple as stepping on an ant. Teleport, raise your hand, shoot someone to death, teleport again, shoot another person. Without a pirate, it takes 2 beats to press the air, so that the surrounding air pressure reaches the maximum point that can be controlled, and then presses the body of the pirate and collapses instantly. This trick is easier to use than bombs, and can be used at any time. Whoever wants to die can only be slapped, and whoever will be turned into minced meat. In a quarter of an hour, it only takes a quarter of an hour to kill a dozen people, and there are 2 people left on the ground, the bear and Eris, the leader of our jackal pirates. You dare! The jackal alas trembled all over, his pupils were about to bulge out, his ferocious facial features and his fangs were exposed, and he gritted his teeth with hatred. Sadness? Angry? Come on, come and try my pain at the time, it's not over yet, I'm going to destroy your jackal pirates, I want you to live rather than die. The bear's voice could not hear sadness or joy, and could not hear emotional changes. I'm here to kill you, destroy your pirate group, and turn everything into running water. You can hate me as much as you can, and I won't feel guilty because I'm a tyrant. As soon as the tyrant came out, the 2 made their hands, collided, fists, claws, and then separated, competing with each other, and neither one could get the slightest benefit. The bear's arm was a little numb, and the power of the animal fruit person was really terrifying. He was a little numb, but what was more annoying was his speed. Hey! Wolf kill! Crazy claws, swipe left, swipe right, teeth are also used, quick movements, slow step, will be entangled, endless. Frequent attacks, go forward bravely, Xiang has an understanding of his attacking tricks, teleports out, and comes behind him, the classic action reappears, one hand is down, the other is up. Bang! Oh, you escaped fast enough. The bear stood up slowly, staring at the tumbling jackal, gasping for breath. There was a bottomless hole on the ground. What kind of power is this? Did you think I'd tell you? The bear raised his hand, squatted on his horse, and shoved at the jackal Eris, push the pressure cannon. Pushing both hands quickly, the pressure cannons flew out from the palms, collided with the jackal Eris, and exploded instantly. Boom! Boom! The roar vibrated, and it didn't stop for a long time. The bear stood up. After the pressure cannon was deployed, he moved his muscles and bones. Looking at the ruins in front of him, with a click, the jackal stood up. The wounds on his body were clearly visible, and the blood was gushing out. He was also seriously injured by the attack just now. Cough cough. He coughed out a mouthful of blood, and the jackal's gloomy face became even more ugly. Little devil, I'm going to kill you. In the first 2 months, this kid was still his own defeated general. Under his own, he couldn't resist a few moves. If he hadn't escaped in the end, he would not be found. Where would there still be the present? It's useless, you couldn't kill me 2 months ago, and now, you can't kill me even more. Blocking his claws with both hands, his attack is completely useless, come once, bounce once, the source of the meatball fruit ability, bounce all power. Whether it is fire, wind, lightning, or even all sorts, it can fly. This is a bit the same as Shen Luo Tianzhang, but Shen Luo Tianzhang is gravity, and the meatball fruit is bounced, and the bear's paw in the palm can be bounced, and it can't be done in other places. Bear's paw. The jackal Eris also discovered this, and attacked faster, looking for an unexpected place for the bear's paw to attack. The bear responded quickly with both hands, without giving him any chance. You hurry, I move faster. After teleporting and moving again, the bear came to his back, raised his palm, and pressed it down violently. Boom! He hit his body with a real attack, and with one palm down, blood splashed, and with another palm, the jackal's body fell to the ground. The bear raised his palm, sweat poured out of his forehead, and attacked continuously. His physical strength was exhausted, and his body could not bear it. Little devil, I'm going to kill you. The wolf body, the fur covers the body, increases the defense, the wild eruption, the anger burns, the jackal alas loses his mind, attacks frantically, does not know tiredness, and does not know pain. Only killing, killing. Crazy. The bear slapped him and slapped him, rushed over, slapped him, and slapped him so much that he lost his temper. Wherever the bear's paw passes, it will bounce. Bang bang bang. He didn't know what fear was. He attacked, and he still had to attack. Maybe he was tired and afraid of being beaten. The jackal alas stopped attacking. Hoo hoo. Xiong put down his hand, glanced at it lightly, and said with a disdainful smile, "Are you tired? Next, come to me, you have to be careful, my attack will kill people." The big leather shoes under the bear's feet moved, and the dust flew up and raised a layer high. Not good, it's dangerous. The jackal alas thumped in his heart and reacted quickly, but unfortunately, the bear was faster than him, and his thick palms were already covered. Bang! No! Pfft! Yang Tian spit out a mouthful of blood, and there was a sunken wound on his chest. Above the abdomen, the muscles kept shaking and the impact was like a fist hitting it, and the dense fist shattered the bones. The attack stopped, and the jackal alas took a deep breath. There was no anger on his face, only despair. "How can you be so strong?" The bear exhaled and spoke in a unique tone, "You are too weak. The weak will be killed." When the palm went down, the pressure cannon blasted out, the surrounding air was still for a moment, the jackal on the ground, the pupils widened, and died. The jackal heiress is dead. Captain! You've reached the end of Part 1. Want to know what happens next? Part 2 and the rest of the story are available on Patreon. Go to Patreon and search for my page to continue listening. Join Patreon and continue the story from Part 2. Thank you for listening and supporting the channel.